Good evening. We'll call the Hawarden, Iowa City Council to order on Wednesday, July the 22nd, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. All present are staff members, council members other than John, and for good reason. We'll let you know that in just a little bit. So, standard agenda items as usual. Number 1A is the approval of the July 8th, 2020 council meeting minutes. Is there a motion for that approval?
So moved.
Moved by Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Any questions or clarifications? All in favor then of the approval of the July 8th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. We'll next move on to claims for payment for today. Start with Rob for questions, please.
No questions.
Okay, Jen?
No questions.
Travis, any questions?
None, thanks.
Tim, any questions?
None. So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor then of the motion of the July 22nd claims for payment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes again 4-0. Next, open business from the community. Unless Eric's going to talk. It looks pretty quiet out there. All right, well, thanks. Thanks for being with us, though. That'll move us then to the mayor's report. We want to welcome Joanna Feldhacker to our world. She was born last week to Councilperson John and his wife Mackenzie. Our congratulations to them, and we wish for Johanna a wonderful life. We received a letter today from Rachel Bonderson from the Hawarden Area Arts Council. On behalf of the Hawarden Area Arts Council, I'd like to thank the City of Hawarden for supporting the Arts Council each year with a $500 stipend. The council is under new leadership. Julie Lynette Coyle, Maddie Vloto, Carrie Wilkeson, and Morgan State will be heading up the group. They are shakers and movers with lots of enthusiasm and fresh new ideas for the City of Hawarden. Sincerely, Rachel Bonderson. Arts Council here in our community plays an important role in bringing arts and those types of things to our community and to the younger folks in our schools. So we appreciate those folks that have dedicated their time to the Arts Council, and we wish the new Arts Council members a welcome there. Lastly, I found this quote today. Seth Godin once said, "Optimism is the most important human trait because it allows us to evolve our ideas, to improve our situation, and to hope for a better tomorrow." As we look at our agenda items tonight, there are a lot of items that are part of the Facade program. So I think there are a lot of great projects going on, and I feel, at least for our community, a lot of optimism. So thank you for taking your time to listen to me go on and on. I told Mike it was going to be 30 minutes, so I cut it down to about 4. So we'll move to staff reports, and since Mike's seated right there, we'll start with Mike, please.
The only thing I had was we'd like to extend our thank you to the Hudson, Alcester, Hawarden, Akron, Ireton, and Sioux Center firemen that came and helped us during a house fire Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Nobody was injured, including the family. So just want to extend our thank you to them for their help.
Has any way that the community can reach out to help that family, or has that already been started by somebody? Or
I know Julie Coyle was looking for some items. She had put a request out on Facebook. I'm not sure if Dakota Treats is doing something as well.
Okay.
So
Great. Yeah, our thanks to the neighboring fire department. That's a big value to have them come and assist us with that. Jacob, you've been taking school. Are you smarter, or is it just?
Smarter every day.
Hey, that's what we want to hear.
Every hour right now.
Every hour, even. Well, don't get.
Yep, clerk school to get certification by the state of Iowa to be deputized as a clerk, and then that takes, after I finish this, I will have just a couple classes to do next year, and then I'll have that certification, and then 2 more years down the road I can get the finance one. So.
Well, good. Thanks for your work with that. Thanks for getting smarter. Not that you need to. Mr. Pickner, anything you'd like to tell us?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, other than the tomatoes are getting ready, and don't pick them, huh, if you don't
Yeah.
own them.
Be good to me, I might give you one.
Bless you, Mr. Pickner. Corey?
Business as usual, nothing new to add.
All right, Travis?
Just to follow up on the parking lot, you can see all the pavers have been replaced, but unfortunately they ran out of the chipped rock to go in between all the pavers. So hopefully they'll be back by the end of the week and we'll be able to have 100% done on the pavers. If you drive to our tree pile, you'll notice that it was ground up into mulch. We made a deal to have them come down and get that done, that we'd store the mulch until they're ready to haul it and sell it. So that is not our mulch. Please don't help yourself to it. Sidewalk and irrigation system's been installed at the corner of 10th and Central. Van Holland will be here the first week in August to hydro seed. They'll till it and level it and ready to go for grass. And lastly, look for information to come out next week on receiving 4 free light bulbs, and that's per residential electric customer. We'll be posting information on Facebook, Channel 10, and in the utility bills. So watch for that.
Can't beat free. Good. Thank you, Travis. Laurie?
Just a couple things this evening. Finalizing the facade grant application, and as you guys see on the agenda, there's a fair number of things to button up for this meeting. The banner grants subcommittee has gotten together. We got direction from the Appealing Downtown Committee on where they want to go, so that subcommittee's working on the first set of banners. And so we hope to be moving forward with some kind of or some type of banner probably up in the next 2 to 3 months. We're going to have to time it with the hanging of the wreaths and everything else like that, and then also going out to bid on those particular banners. But the subcommittee is moving forward. We're actually collecting some photographs from local photographers here in town, and hope to have something to provide back as an example to the entire Appealing Downtown group. In addition to that, went to the Chamber Open House. I hope those individuals who were able to attend that one and the one the next day had a chance to see the great job that the Chamber Development Committee has done on their spec home. It is for sale at this point, so we're hoping that there's some lucky family out there that's looking for a nice new home to move into. We also had the Chamber had a ribbon cutting for Heartland Appliance and Repair just a few days ago. And we have also finalized up the RFQs for architects. That is part of your approval tonight as part of the facade grant. We will have a new architect who will be doing the final drawings if we are awarded the grant. And then that will be the architect that will work hand in hand with the building owners. Out of all the businesses that applied, the 10 that we wanted to apply, all were in the fair to poor category, so they all qualified to go forward on the grant. And so with that, we're going to go in with a full load of properties downtown. Hopefully the state sees how much work that we've put in and that the local business owners have put in trying to plan for how they would like their downtown to look, and awards us with a grant. And the only other thing is our census numbers are now starting to creep up again. Our recent number as of today is 70.6%, so we're still ahead of the state of Iowa at 68.3%. And we have been growing about 1% or 2% every point of 1% every couple of days. So we're hoping to see that continue to grow. So.
Good, thanks, Laurie. Council members have any questions for the staff or any comments in any other regard?
I just wondered where we were at with discussions with the hospital on local option sales tax, or any further progress on that.
I haven't been leading that one, but
Okay, can we put that on the agenda as a council discussion coming up in the next couple meetings? Is that possible?
Yeah.
And the only other thing is, I would like to explore, as within the last budget year, we're always looking at cuts, and I think before we look at more cuts, we also need to look at revenue streams as well. So I don't know if it's possible to do a study or just look into the possibility of whether we put a hotel motel tax on the ballot for November, if that's possible or not, and how much benefit that would actually bring back to the community. So that's all I had.
We can check on that. What I do know about hotel motel taxes is whatever the revenue is, half of it has to be spent on tourism and things like that.
Right.
So, which would also, I mean, I don't think it's going to be, hundreds of thousands of
No.
dollars, but it may be something that we can continue to look at trails and things with as well. So I'll do some research on that.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to other agenda items. Agenda item number 3 would be the second reading of ordinance 723. This is the ordinance amending the Code of City for provision pertaining to ambulance rates. Mike gave us a little bit of an overview last time in regards to insurance reimbursement, so we're trying to keep up with that. So this would be the second reading. Anyone need any further clarification? I'd entertain a motion, please, for the second reading of ordinance 723.
So moved.
Moved by Jen. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. I'd call for a roll call vote, please, for the second reading of ordinance 723.
Kurth,
Aye.
Bucky,
Aye.
Bergsma,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, second reading of ordinance 723 passes. Third reading for any public input, again, will be at our next regular meeting, August the 12th. We've had a second pay request from the Firm Foundation, who did the community center parking lot concrete process of that, in the amount of $5,585.29. Does this complete their payments?
This should complete Firm Foundation's
Firm
portion.
Foundations?
We'll still have some with Vanderwent and Sons for the completion of the pavers, and then when they put the gates on the front of the dumpster area.
I think there's a retainage that's left.
Is there retainage on that as well?
All paperwork's done, we sign off and say the project's over, then there's a $8,000 retainage. That would complete it.
Okay. Is there a motion for the second pay request for Firm Foundation?
So moved.
Moved by Rob. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 4-0. Yearly, we have to do an approval of the annual bad debt write-offs. As Mike had said in his notation, our staff has really worked well and very hard with helping citizens to stay current with their payments. A lot of this has come from ambulance reimbursements, so I'll let Mike talk a little more, please. Or Jacob.
Correct. On that, some of our utility ones, we've had a couple people that ran up large utility bills and then have left town. So those, basically when we write them off, we take them off the books. We still attempt to collect them. We just don't keep them in our count. You'll see ambulance write-offs are up quite a bit, but their runs that they had for the last fiscal year, probably about 150 more runs than they've experienced in previous years. They averaged about 350 runs a year. This last year they had 525 runs. So as they get more runs, more Medicare, more Medicaid patients, and also those that aren't able to pay, that'll go up as well. So, and then our cable and internet and stuff, it's all about the same as it normally is.
So are we actually losing money on the ambulance, or is that just we aren't collecting?
We,
Standard write-offs
Yeah,
for
we-
the insurance. They're unallowable amounts.
a lot of it's Medicare and Medicaid, which we can bill them $500. They're only going to pay us $250. So actually the ambulance revenue this year was up over what their expenses were. So this year, for example, we made a little money. Some years we do make money, some years we lose money. It just depends on the
Well, it's a
number of
paper
runs.
loss, basically. It'd
Yeah.
be
you know.
nice if we got it, but we don't.
Right. Some of these out of the ambulance will continue to, go after through the offset program and through collections and things like that. Some of them that are Medicare, Medicaid, they're done forever. That's all we get.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis to approve the annual bad debt write-off. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor then of the annual bad debt write-off, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. Agenda item number 6A, this is a public hearing for the submittal of the Downtown Revitalization Fund CDBG application on behalf of the city of Hawarden. Do you want to give a little overview before we open the public hearing, Mike?
Sure. It's basically the downtown facade grant that Larry was talking about. We talked to council about a year ago about getting on board with doing a downtown facade grant. Since it's a federal grant, we have to pass a lot of their resolutions and things they want us to. And one of the things is we have to have a public hearing. It'll be submitted at the end of this month, but we got to have this public hearing beforehand. It was published, and then once it's open, Rick has something he needs to read before we close it. It's just going through their steps so that they can get it sent in by the end of the month.
I'll then open the public hearing for the submittal of the CDBG grant application. Any comments from, no public here, any comments that were sent to the office?
None.
Okay. The citizen participation plan to comply with citizen participation requirements pursuant to the requirements of Section 508 of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1987, as amended. This public hearing is being held by the Hawarden City Council for the purpose of discussing and submitting a community development block grant application for the City of Hawarden Downtown Revitalization Project. Purpose of the Housing Fund grant will be to rehabilitate facades of 10 downtown businesses. The nature of the proposed improvements includes making upgrades to the facades of the businesses to include things like windows, roof, tuck pointing, and awnings to improve the appearance of the buildings downtown. The proposed project will occur entirely within the city limits and will be entirely in downtown Hawarden. It will include buildings from the 700 to 900 block of Central Avenue. No new excavation or ground disturbance is expected. The need for the proposed project was identified based on conversations between business owners, the Chamber of Commerce, and the city. 100% of the requested grant funds will be used to eliminate slum and blight. This rehabilitation project will not cause the displacement of any individuals or businesses. A CDBG application for federal grant assistance will be submitted on or before July 31st, 2020 to the Iowa Economic Development Authority. The total project cost is estimated at $599,085. The sources for this proposed funding are $335,006 in requested CDBG funds and $120,558 local match from the city and the chamber. Due to the nature of this project, no persons or businesses shall be displaced as a result of the recommended project activities. In the event any persons or businesses are displaced as a result of the project, the entities involved will adhere to the requirements of the Uniform Relocation and Assistance and Acquisition Act of 1974, as amended. Completed. Any other comments for public hearing? Now you can see why my mayor's report was so short. I'll then close the public hearing, which moves us to agenda item number 6B, Resolution 2020-32. This is the resolution then of the City of Hawarden authorizing application to the Iowa CDBG program, designating official signatory and authorizing Northwest Iowa to help prepare and administer the grant for the City of Hawarden. Is there a motion for that resolution?
So move.
It's been moved by Rob. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Further questions or clarifications? Please call for a roll call vote for Resolution 2020-32.
Olson.
Aye.
Huckey.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
And Bergsma.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2020-32 passes. Leads us to agenda item number 7, Resolution 2020-33, determining an area of the city to be blighted in rehabilitation, conservation, redevelopment, development, or a combination thereof of the blighted area. It's necessary in the interests of the public health, safety, and welfare of residents and of the city.
So moved.
Wow. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Motion by Travis. This again is further doing the facade program.
It's basically, they did a survey of the downtown area and buildings and determined which ones would be slum and blighted, which ones were good, and then ranked them in a category.
And that's the mapping that we received in our...
Yes, there's an attached map, and
And people can see that on the website. Okay? Thanks for the motion and the second. We'll move to a roll call vote for Resolution 2020-33.
Kurth.
Yes.
Huckey.
Aye. Yes.
Olson.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2020-33 passes. Agenda item number 8, pardon me, Resolution 2020-34. This is a request of our city to request the assistance of the Northwest Iowa Planning and Development Commission to assist us in doing this grant. We've worked with them before.
yes, we worked with them on the housing rehab grants. It's just giving them permission to help us administer the grant.
Is there a motion for Resolution 2020-34?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2020-34.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Huckey.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
That resolution passes also 4-0. Along with this, we have to approve and adopt a community development and housing needs assessment. Would you give us an overview for that, please?
This is basically an overall need on our community, on both our housing and our business, and the way the structures need help or need some improvement. They went through and did this, and then also incorporated our housing assessment to create the document that they did. In reading it, I think it's kind of the direction that we all want to move into, is get some of the places that fixed up and move in a direction where it's appealing and safe.
So it's really not replacing anything, but it's
It's repairing and bringing up to standards, yes,
putting this out to the public.
yes.
Okay? Is there approval, or is there a motion for the approval and adoption of the Community Development and Housing Needs Assessment?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that passes 4-0. Lastly, with the facade program, we need to approve the Franks Design Group as the architect for the facade grant, if that is awarded. From the information that we received, and Laurie and Mike talked and looked at a number of architects for this.
The Franks Group seemed to have a lot of experience in both the grant and doing the facades in other communities. If you look through their packet, we first thought maybe we would take one closer that's in Sioux City, but they didn't have the experience that this one did, and we just felt that somebody with that much experience in doing these in other communities would benefit us.
And a number of those communities were nearby, such
Right,
as Lamar.
correct,
So,
yes.
okay.
So moved.
The motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor to approve the Franks Design Group of Glenwood, Iowa for the architect of the facade grant, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 4-0. That's a lot of great resolutions, a lot of good approvals for what we hope will be a wonderful project for our downtown Hawarden. Consent agenda items, a request from the liquor license transfer to the Hawarden Community Center. Must be having some type of gathering again, and we can transfer that. And also Midwest Steakhouse must be getting a little bit closer, asking for a Class C liquor license for commercial. Is there a motion for the consent agendas?
So moved.
Moved by Rob, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 4-0 also. Our next regular stated meeting will be, well, we're heading into August. It'll be August the 12th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved by Rob, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks again for your attendance. Hawarden City Council's now adjourned.